Hello, everyone. So, I want to just talk about a few things to give you a bit of backstory, I suppose, to this. So, as we know, the election, last general election in Ireland, the both parties, Fianna Gael and Fianna Fáil, committed to people that they would pass the Occupied Territories Bill. And you'd be like, what is the Occupied Territories Bill? Well, it was basically banning trade between Israel and Ireland, the Occupied Territories. It was Occupied Territories Bill, I suppose we call it. And of course, we've seen yesterday, and again, regardless if you agree or not with the activists going with the flotilla to Israel, and in particular that Israel intercepted them in international waters now, it's the same if somebody was coming here, if they were coming here from Israel to Ireland. Uh, we couldn't really do anything about it if they were in the middle of international waters, but if they came into Irish waters, the Irish nation has a right to stop the vessel and ask, inquire what they're doing, and even seize it if necessary. But this was in international waters, and we seen a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago, we seen them do it in Greece international water, went into some other countries' international waters and done it. And also, we see the war crimes that were committed in Gaza. In Lebanon, too, we've seen the cross of Jesus Christ be knocked down. We've seen many churches destroyed, many Christian villages targeted. And I do think it's important, and I think it's really necessary, and I think the majority of Irish people can agree, because Irish people, and I've said this before, and I know a few people did get upset about it, but Irish people do see a lot of our history in Gaza and in the areas like that, in Lebanon particularly too. We do see a lot of our history, because it's the same tactics in a lot of cases that's being used by when the British were here in Ireland. It's the same tactics, and unfortunately, food was being weaponised, and we see that in Gaza. And of course, during the famine in Ireland, the British intended to, genocide us. Let's call it what it was. They exported wheat and stuff out of the country. Meanwhile, they let people starve, and we've seen that in Gaza. But I do think it's necessary at this point, particularly as I say, if you've seen the video from yesterday, particularly the Irish woman saying "Free Palestine." We could argue about, do you agree with free in Palestine? Do you agree with this or do you agree with that? But I think we can all agree that it wasn't right, because there's people doing a lot worse in Israel and in the world, and the Israeli authorities don't want to know about it, or the Irish authorities. In our case too, the Irish authorities won't deal with it either. But at the end of the day, they were international waters. They're all just pretty much people with blue hair and stuff, and they don't seem like they're going to be dangerous. They don't seem like dangerous people now. They don't seem like tough people and stuff. They just seem to be college students and stuff. They're not that dangerous, to be totally honest with you. Even though I might not agree, and it doesn't really achieve anything going on a boat, through Gaza, etc. It doesn't achieve anything, in my view. But at the same time, they have a right to their view, and they have a right to express their view. And even if I don't agree with it, that's their right. That's democracy. But I do think the actions yesterday was abhorrent, particularly to our own citizens, Irish citizens. That she was set free, Palestine was pushed to the ground and dragged away, basically dragged away, and God knows what was done off camera. And I do think it's necessary, and I think we should have done it years ago. At this stage, we should have done it years ago, because I think it's the right thing to do. To be totally honest, I really, really do think it's the right thing to do, because too much evil was being done in the Middle East by both sides. Just to say, we're no supporters or anything of the other side either, the Hamas, etc. But the innocent people, and talking about the innocent person, the innocent woman, the innocent child. That's what I'm more concerned about. It's nothing to do with Hamas or Hezbollah. We don't care. They killed one of our soldiers. Hezbollah has killed one of our soldiers, and he's still that fella that killed our soldier. It's still on the run. So the Irish people have no time for that either. But they do want people to be treated with some respect, and they do expect people to not be blown to bits by bombs, children to starve to death. The Irish people expect that them days are done, basically. Them days where it happened to us, where we were left to starve and to what. And many things happened with the Black and Tans and the OIC in this country, where they went into houses and attacked women, done awful heinous stuff. We wanted them days to be left in the past. Irish people wanted that being left in the past 100 years ago. We don't want to see it in the modern world. We know the suffering, basically, what I'm trying to say. And it's important and it is important to a lot of Irish people. Either be left or right. I do think it's more than that. I do think it's more than that. It's not about your ideology. It's about what's right. And I think this is the right thing, that too much evil has been done. And that's as simple as that. Too much evil has been done, and too much people have suffered. Too many innocent people that have nothing to do with anything. Again, the simple as that. They're the people that were caught in the crossfire, and the people that are responsible are not, been well looked after. Let's put it that way. But I do think there's been many instances of this, but I do think it's necessary now to put sanctions. And I would nearly say to the IFA game that we're talking about having the IFA game here, the Europe, I think was the the World Cup, Ireland's in Israel's group too, and Hungary, I think. I would say, and at the moment, I suppose we wait and see what happens, but I would say we shouldn't probably go ahead with Ireland, should pull out of it altogether, not go into it, not play any team, just pull out of it and protest, and I do think that'd be the best thing for Ireland to do. Same as we did in the Eurovision. And again, I'm not a left person, I'm not on the left. I hate using the terminology left and right, because this is more than that, this is more than this, and I hate them. And I say this straight to me, it's about being human. It's about being human and seeing the suffering. Because unfortunately, I could show you so many videos throughout the year throughout the last 3 years I've seen, of children, missing legs, missing arms, bodies of children in airstrikes and stuff, and it's cruel. It's like you really wish it was we should have left in the past long ago. What I mean by that, we should have learned from our history that war achieves nothing, and only the innocent suffer, and that's what I deem it as. And I think the majority of Irish people see it that way, and I think the majority of Irish people are appalled by the actions that are being committed, and by the Israelis and by Hezbollah, of course. By the two of them have committed awful atrocities, but Israel has caused a lot more atrocities in the last few months than any other. Particularly when I say about this, and our treatment of our own citizens, our Irish citizens, regardless if we agree with them or not, it's not acceptable. And it's not acceptable to even other country citizens that they be treated such a way. Because if we dare do it to the other side, we would know about it. But again, it's all about being fair, and it's all about speaking up for what's right. And I think in this case, it's right what to do. Thank you.